Hello everyone and welcome back to Out of War. I'm your host JC. So I've got most of this put in. I'm going to leave this area over in here for like big items like this bagger for instance that will not fit underneath there. And then I went and bought some paving stuff. We already had this roller here, but now we have the grader, the pavement smoother, and the paver dump truck to go into it. So we got those. We're going to end up getting some more stuff. This is actually an entrance to go down and out, so we'll have to figure out some way of marking that to show that's there, because you really can't see it from across the way over here. But this is what I was talking about with the grid pattern, so I think I'm going to finish putting these in. We're going to do a little bagger work first, and then finish putting those in. And I got to figure out a color to paint it. And I went up here, and I painted a couple of them just to make it something different. So this is the white paint, and it makes it look kind of like a gray or metal, which I think is what I'm going to do for the pillars down to the ground too. And then this is the color it's going to be for the roof, which is the light gray, I think it is. And I'm pretty sure it's this one here. Just to make sure. Go to 8. Yeah. So it's a light gray for that. And again, like I said, I'll put those in after we get into a little bit of bagger work. So let's run down here. And I know I shouldn't be jumping down off this, but that's alright. This is set up to go. We're going to do, I don't know, 2 or 3 cuts maybe. Get a little bit in here. We are probably about 40 blocks further from when you guys last saw me using the bagger. I dug a bunch of this out. I just want to get this cut done, get the dozer work done, get the roof on the parking structure done. You know, try to get it all cleaned up before we go and get the 695. Because I'm going to have to go down there and cut some trees too at some point. Which is not that big a deal. But I think I'm going to leave this just as is and park it right in that little section right there. We'll still have a way to drive down on this side over here and drive down on that side over there, so it really won't be in the way. Plus I can let the arm hang out over the edge too. So that is the plan. Obviously that's not all going to be done today. I'm going to do, like I said, 2 or 3 cuts. We're probably going to get the rest of those beams going across, or steel structures going across. Depending on how far we've gone in at that point, we'll do some digging. Or painting, I mean, sorry. And then on the next episode, I'm going to bulldoze all this off here, finish off the cut if we have anything left, and put the roof on. Maybe not all of that, because I don't want to go too much. But yeah, so get that painted, or at least part of it. Get the rest of those things in, and get, like I said, 2 or 3 cuts here. As you can see, we're coming up to the end right over here on this side. We're going to start poking through, and so we're just going to be cutting more and more over here. It shouldn't take too long to finish this off. The dozer work, I could just put a nuke over there and blast it away, but, I mean, that's kind of cheating. I mean, I will be blasting the stuff up top, so, I mean, it wouldn't be that much different. Maybe I'll do that for that section there, and then I'll bulldoze this section that's already been cut down part way. Because it's going to go straight out past that little bump right there, so it shouldn't be too much. I did go check on the coal too. It was filled up, so I took a bunch of it out and put it into the coal generators, and then put, I think, a tiny, like half stack or something in coal storage. One of the container storages. Get some of this cut out of here. I'm going to go kind of deep on the next one. I'm probably going to do like 2.5 or 3 blocks. And then I'll put in a new hopper. And we'll go like 2 blocks on the next cut. So, yeah, I mean, we'll probably do for sure 3, maybe 4 cuts. It'll only take me like 3 or 4 minutes to put in the rest of those steel blocks, structures for the frame of the parking structure. And I think I'm also going to, as you see, I have like little rails going around. I think I'm just going to make one long straight stretch down next to the beams instead of having to go in and out, in and out, in and out the whole way down. Alright, so about there maybe. And then we're going to go, like I said, 2.5, 3 blocks. So we're in the middle of that one. If I go to about there is 2.5 blocks. Get out here to the front, and I'm also trying something else new too. If you look at the top of the screen, I have the which doesn't seem to be showing on OBS, but at the top of my screen I have it with the FPS and CPU usage temperature, GPU usage temperature, and RAM usage. I'm hoping that actually shows up. Yeah, because it's definitely not showing up on OBS. I would like to be able to break through that section over there. Just know that I'm that much closer to finishing off this cut. And we got a bunch of copper and stuff recently through that section there, the blasted rock, and we're going to get more coming back through because it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger. Like at some point, this whole entire side over here is going to be blasted rock we're just chewing through. And again, though, we are going to move this plank that I'm sitting on is going to be moved over this way 10 blocks towards the little cut over there. Basically, about where the blade of the dozer's at, I think, is like 10. I think that'll be enough because it's 20 blocks wider, so that should be 10 on each side. We'll see what happens. So there's going to be some trees cut down I have to do to get started. I got to go down 8 blocks. I think I have it set up right now to go down 4 or 5, one of the two. And then, of course, put in all the conveyors too and finish that part off. There's definitely going to be a lot of painting going on in the near future to get all that done. So yeah, I'm thinking like this, the white, which is going to be basically the same color as the buildings. That's what we used over there, was white also. And then gray for the roof. And then I'm going to come back through and paint the catwalks. And I'm thinking probably yellow for the catwalk. And then one of the yellows. And then maybe a green hand railing to match the roof. I know it's kind of an oddball coloring, but I think it'll look good when we get done. Alright, so I need to put another hopper in. We're going to go to about there. I think that should work. Can I get 2 in without... yeah, I can get 2 in, okay. Alright, we'll start this thing up and start cutting back the other way. It's going to take a second for it to start putting material through. In fact, I need to adjust this just a little bit. There we go. Somehow it wasn't straight anymore. But not this cut, but I think the next one should be really close to breaking through right there. Like right here. I mean, if I don't get all of it, it's not that big a deal. I can always bulldoze the edges of it off. We'll get some coal out of this too. Make sure and top up our storage over there. If we don't have enough to actually fill up the generators. Which, that's going to take a lot, because I think there's still like 2 full rows need to fill in before those are full. Yeah, we'll get some coming back that way. Again, like I said, I got to go down 8 blocks and over 10 to make this work. And then, like I said, bulldoze that edge off. Or turn this machine and have this machine spit it into the conveyor. I could do that too. I went a little thick on it this time. I know I said, don't go as much as that, but it's working right there. So I'm going to go ahead and keep using that spot, which is like a block and a half, 2 block range. You go much more than that, you start running into having problems though. I like seeing this thing work. It just chews through the material. And this isn't even the biggest one. Just wait. I mean, it's insane how much material you get put through with the big one. We could like build a road over that way and start taking off the top of that mountain, but that would be like an insane amount of work. Especially without having a truck, because I mean, I want to do it where you like semi-realistic, like load up a bunch of equipment onto a semi-trailer and drive it over there. Alright, so I'm going to have to put in some planks to let the front of the nose stick off of here for the next cut. So like this one we've done 2, 4, like 6.5 blocks with 3 cuts. That's not too bad. I think I'm just going to let this stick the nose over the edge. So we'll go like, be like 9 blocks and 3 cuts. Alright, I did not do that. Let's go back to the other machine that I want to be in. Alright, so let's go ahead and move forward. And that'll put us about there. And I believe it's going to start filling. Yeah, the first one's getting material into it too, so it's a good thing I put the extra one in. So it should be really, really close to going through right there. We'll see. We're at, I don't know, a quarter of the thing already, and we're not even to the apex where it's the deepest, so we're going to be getting a lot of material in this one. You do have to be careful when you nose off the edge like that though, because what'll happen is you'll start digging down more than you normally would. I mean, I know that Split in 2 does it without having that issue, but he's also having someone go through and flatten all this out ahead of time as he's moving. So we're getting like half a cut basically, or half a spindle. Yeah, this is a good cut here. So once we get done with this one, we'll go ahead and let this material run through, and then finish off putting in those beams up there. Yeah, put in the rest of those beams over there, and we'll have a little painting fest. Hopefully, shouldn't take too long for this material to run through. We'll be able to see it from up top as we're painting. Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to cut through. We're about to hit it right here. As you can see, more and more of the blade shown above. I like it. And when I get done with this cut, I'm actually going to back up a little bit so that I can put planks in before I start making another cut the next time. So I'm going to have to come back through. I'm going to tear up all these conveyors after we finish cutting this out. All these planks, all the way across the backside there too, because it's going to be in the way if I don't. When we come back through the other way with the big bagger. So you guys have seen Quarry. This is Forest Hills. What other maps would you like to see a series done on? I plan on doing a winter series and so the Scandinavia map. Maybe it's just what it's called. I don't remember. It's. I'm drawing a blank right now. Sorry, just got home from work. So yeah, can I jump up here now? Is this tall enough? Yeah, okay. Definitely cut through because over there I can't jump up that high. So we're gonna run over here. We're gonna get these put in real quick. I am at some point. I'm gonna put a ramp going down somewhere over here for this end, like I did the other side. So we'll jump over here real quick. Switch to this one. And like I said, it's gonna be pretty quick and easy. This is actually on snap too, so just come through here, and we got 2 more rows to do. Once these 2 rows are done, all these things are done. And if I have to, I can go grab more from downstairs. I do have more of them down there. I think I made another 500 or 1,000. I also made 1,000 ceiling tiles, I think it is. It might be 750 ceiling tiles per, so 1,500. I did it on 2 different machines. Oh, went too far. We may not get this all painted. I'm just going to go until the material runs through, which should take, 10 or so minutes, I think. Alright, so that's it for that one. Then we'll run down here and get this last one. And then it's painting time. And that was like 30 some blocks, so we should have plenty of blocks left. I originally had just the outline of this thing done, and I also had it going all the way to the very front, or I guess back, by where the hill is behind me. And I didn't like the way it ended up looking um, in the corner sections. And I figured I was going to have a heck of a time putting in the corners and then putting a roof on it and this and that. So I just decided to completely scrap the stuff that I had over here. And I think it is going to look a whole lot better this way. Alright, so let's run up here. Actually, let's go to paint. We're going to just buy a stack because it's going to take a lot. And we're going to put that into here. These are all going to get painted before I put any ceiling tiles or ceiling pieces in. Because if not, I'm going to have a heck of a time later on. So we're just going to... Oh, that is not the right one. I meant to grab white, not gray. So let's sell this real quick. Damn it. I want 1,000 of these. Let's try this again now. That's the right color. Okay. So we're just going to go through and we're going to paint the tops real quick around the entire outside edge. And then I'll start working back and forth in the middles. And as you can see, if I look off to the left here, I can still see the material in there, so I'm not too worried about it getting done and us still painting. I guess I could let that stuff run and check it next time too. I know that parts of these things are not as fun as the other, but this is all aspects of this game, so... And I think once I get this outside frame done, you're going to see that it's going to look good. Especially how it matches into the walls here. It's a little different, but close. And I think hanging off the outside edges here, I'm going to put these roof tiles too. So it kind of like a rain deflecting kind of thing. Maybe I'll just do this section over here first. I'll just keep going straight is what I'll do. Cause this is a lot of roof to do, or steel to do. I mean, you guys saw how long it took us to do the walls and the roof and everything. And then I'm going to have to come back through and paint a second time with the roof colors. I should have kept that. That was the right color for the roof. Whoops. Oh well. It was only 50,000. Could have been a whole lot worse. Now, the post going down, I think I want to paint those white too. But I think like all these staircases, I might leave those red but put all these ones up here like this, yellow, and then these green. At least that's what I've been thinking. We could like paint the conveyors, I guess, too, a different color so they stand out. I'm not sure what color we should do those though. We did blue for the water and black for the coal. There's not really a tan or a dirt color for like pay dirt. What do you guys think? Alright, we'll come over here, do this one here. Then we'll have one more inside row from what we've done so far, and then the cross pieces back and forth. I think it's going to look good when it gets done. I have a black on the ground, a white in the middle, and a gray up top. Might have to end up putting some lights in. I also need to figure out what to do with that. I think I'm just going to tear that out Because I don't think there's going to be a way to put a roof around it without like making it look really funky. Which is not what I want to do. Yep, still material on the conveyors. I believe an excavator will fit under here. I may have to like change the way the boom sits, but I think it'll fit under here. The big dump trucks will. If I have like big loads I need to dump in that section over there, I might have a problem with the top of the dumper hitting the steel. Okay, now we got that done. We're going to run over here. And, well, that was a mistake. I didn't want to do that. Let's try this again. Oh, yeah, I changed this to go around the outside over here on this side so that it's not coming up right through the middle of the roof. As you can see, still material running through over there. We're going to have that going for a while, I think. Probably should have no problem finishing this section off here. I don't know, should we leave the bottom parts red and leave these ones white? I mean, we need to have some sort of distinction, I guess. I'll have to look at it when we get to get this section done. We've gone through like half the paint almost already. And we still have all those pieces and that whole section over there to do too. Oops. We didn't do that. Well, we beat the autosave. There's 30 minutes right there. So we got 4 sections wide here. Okay. So we'll turn here. Man, we still got material going through there. I mean, I know the thing goes a lot. I actually made a kind of a thick cuts on the last one too. Alright, this is the last one for this section. And I don't think I'm going to do any beams going down in the middle over here. I think that realistically, the way it's like all linked together, and because this would all be welded too, that those beams and the beams that are over there would hold this up anyway. Alright, let's run down and see how this looks. Yeah, see, I like that, especially when you have the gray, that color gray behind it. Now, should I paint the beams too? Let's see what one looks like painted. I have a little contrast here that way. Yeah, I think I'm going to paint them. I like that. No! No, we got to pull that out. I definitely did not want to paint that. At least not white. I think it's going to look good. It's going to look like steel should look. Well, without the rust. Alright, so get this last one here. Go back out, do the front corner there. And then we'll go look at it real quick. I can always take these out and put them back in if I need to. But I think this is going to look good. And we've used up almost 700 paint. Yeah, I think especially when I put in the colors for the walkways and everything else, I think it'll look good. Alright, let's, do we got material still running through? We do. Okay, let's see how much we have left. That one's still got 330,000. That one's got 145, and that one's empty. Yeah, this is going to take a while. So, let's, get a little bit more of this done, I guess, and then maybe I'll do a little bit of a jump cut, too. So, yeah, I'm thinking leave the stairs the way they are, but any of these walkways, we're going to do yellow. I don't know, maybe I should do the stairs yellow, too. I don't know. But for right now, we're going to run over here, get all this outside done. I believe I might do a short series off of this one, with like a tunneler going off one direction or the other from where we cut down on the next cut, depending how deep it is. If it's deep enough, I may have to do 2 cuts first, but we'll see. And I'm not sure how many episodes I'm going to do in this one. I mean, we're at 40 something already. And you can only do so much of the same thing. Alright, so let's just, again, do these up and down real quick. Let's see, how many more of these do we have anyway? There's only one more up and down to do, and then we'll do the cross members, and all this top part will be done. And then I'm probably going to do a little bit of a jump cut, because I don't want to sit here for the next 45 minutes while that, or however long it takes to finish off that material over there. I know it's 4 to 5 minutes per 100,000, and there's, what, 600,000 over there, so yeah, it'll be another 25 minutes to get this done. We're not going to spend that much time doing it, though. And I decided to go with the ceiling tiles because they're a smoother tile instead of using the floor tiles that have the diamond steel on them for this roof. I believe that's what I did on that roof too, if I'm not mistaken. I did try to put gravel up there. It did not work. Someone put it in the comments. I would have liked to. It would have looked really cool. But unfortunately, you can't seem to put material on top of like fabricated material or manufactured material. It like won't allow it. And then if you drop dirt on top of it from like a hopper or something like that, it just deletes it. So what color should I paint the conveyors? Give me suggestions. I don't really want to do gold because, I mean, yeah, we're getting gold out of it, but if I'm going to paint the conveyors gold, I'm going to paint the ones after the froth floater, where it goes through the smelters, paint those gold because that's where the gold's being made anyway. Like after the wash plant and after the froth floater. Alright, so all this up here is done. Let's run over and look up top up quick. I'm pretty sure I used ceiling tiles up there. Yeah, those are ceiling. Okay. And that was done with a black tar roof, but this one's not going to be. So we have these ones to do. Now, I kind of cheated on this one here because I didn't want to have it in front of the window and I didn't want to have it way over here where it was like no gap. So I used the conveyor as part of the brace. I'm not going to paint that white though. Really? There we go. I do have to move the fuel tank, obviously. I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. Out of paint. So let's just go that many for now. Now I do have some other beams down here that I think I need to paint also to make this look like semi-realistic. So we're going to go ahead and paint those real quick too. And then I believe I put some in over here too. So we'll get those put in real quick. And double check over here. Yeah, I got one over here too. And then all those are, yep, okay, so just these ones here. We'll get these real quick. Alright, let's do a bit of a jump cut here then. I think it's the best way to do this. So I'll see you guys here in a few. So this is kind of what I was talking about, like this. It's either going to be this or I'm going to go with this orange color. So I'll get a couple of those real quick and show you. Just get one actually. And if we go to this and put this in here, I kind of like that too. But I think I'm going to go with the yellow. So all the stuff's done. We're going to go and check to see what we got today. Now I did re-up the rubies and diamonds, so we have a ton of those done also. We're probably going to grab those when we finish this cut and see how much we got done. So in here we have, I'm just going to grab the stuff we're going to sell. I'm going to put all the rest of the stuff away later on. So we're going to grab the gold, the lithium, aluminum, silver, silicone. We're actually selling steel now too. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of, but we just have so much of it. There's a full container down there. Then we're going to grab this over here. The lithium, silver, aluminum, silicon, steel, all the gold. Put these rubies and stuff up here. So this is the stuff we're going to put into storage here. And we're going to sell everything that's in our inventory. So let's go here. We're at 76 million currently. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all this junk that we don't need. Okay, so lithium's 5,000. That was 294. Another 5,000. Another 559. Not much for silver. Not much for aluminum. So the small stack of gold, 934. And of course, $1.5 million basically for each one of these, or almost $1.5 million. Get all that sold. So we were at 76. So yeah, $12 million in stuff today that we've been able to sell. I think though that is going to look really good when I get it done and get a roof on it. And like I said, I'm going to do the same thing that I did on this roof here with these green things, except they're going to hang on the outside over there. So I think it'll look pretty good. So thanks for stopping by. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, click that like button. It really does help the channel. If you have any tips or tricks, questions, concerns, if you have a specific color you want me to paint conveyors, or the catwalks on the inside, or the staircases, or whatever, let me know in the comments. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope you guys have a great day.